Okay. Okay. Can start? Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum. Salam sejahtera and good morning, everyone. On behalf of the organizing committee, I would like to welcome everyone for attending our MUET Preparatory online webinar series, incorporating with APB, Academy Pengajian Bahasa, Collaborative Teaching Initiative. My name is Zaida Hashim. We are from the Academy of Language Studies, Center of Foundation Studies, University Technology, Mara. I am the moderator for the first session of our webinar today, which is entitled How to Score Your MUET Reading Test, which starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 10 a.m. The second session on how to score your MUET Writing Test will begin at 10 a.m. and end at 12 noon by Madam Lithiavani Subramaniam. To begin today's talk, I would like to invite Madam Satya Perba Subramaniam, the coordinator of the Academy of Language Studies at the Center of Foundation Studies, University Technology, Mara, to deliver her welcoming speech. Everyone, please welcome Puan Satya Perba.
Thank you, Madam Zaida. Happy Saturday, everyone. Firstly, I would like to thank our committee members for organizing this session. And to our speaker for today, Madam Nityawani, welcome. A big welcome to you. A big thank you to you, Madam Nityawani, for accepting our invitation to share some tips, or rather a lot of tips, on reading and writing skills. We are sure our session this morning will help our students in their upcoming MUET tests. Dear students, sit back, relax, and enjoy this session with Madam Nityawani. Take down, jot down whatever tips, all the tips that Madam Nityawani is sharing with us this morning. I am sure, not only our students, but we lecturers are also going to benefit from this session. Thank you very much, everyone. Over to you, Madam Zaida.
Thank you so much, Puan Satya, and for the welcoming remarks. Dear lecturers and students, we are honored and very grateful to have Madam Nithyavani as our speaker, who will share important information on the MUET reading tests. Before we proceed, please allow me to introduce our distinguished speaker. Madam Nithyavani Subramaniam has more than 25 years of experience in teaching. She is a devoted educator and is currently teaching in IPGK Sultan Abdul Halim, Sungai Petani, Kedah. She has been engaged in numerous MUET-related teaching, training, learning and grading, and developing materials. We are very privileged to have her conduct a session on how to score for your reading tests this morning. I therefore hope students who are sitting for the MUET test will seize this opportunity to learn from the subject matter expert herself. Without further ado, please welcome Madam Nithyavani.
Thank you, Madam Moderator, Puan Zaida Hashim. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good morning. Right. First of all, thank you to Pusat Asasi, UiTM Dengkil campus, for giving me this opportunity to share with you some knowledge on MUET, specifically the reading and writing components. So with that, without further delay, right, we'll start our sharing session, right? Okay, please allow me to share my slides. Okay, I hope it's clear. Right. Before we start, students, I'd like to let you know that I prefer this session to be rather informal. Yeah, you can stop me to ask questions that very moment when you are unsure, right, of certain things I say. You do not have to wait till the Q&A session, right, at the very end of the, our sharing session. It's better to clarify there and then, right, while I'm at the slide. Yeah. So if you'd like to grab some breakfast, yeah, by all means, go ahead. Yeah, we do not want you to sit through this whole session feeling miserable, hungry, weak. Yeah, okay. Now, I'd like to just give you a brief introduction about how I wish to, carry out this session. I would start with reading first, yeah, the reading component. And that would be, I think I would just I'll just go by very quickly because I'd like to spend more time, yeah, on the writing component. Yeah, so I hope you're all right with that. Okay, and then in between, perhaps we'll take about 10 or 15 minutes break. Yeah. Okay, now we are looking at MUET, yeah, and the code is 800, and we have four components, which are paper 1 listening, paper 2 speaking, paper 3 reading, and paper 4 writing. All right, I'm sure your lecturers have been preparing you, well, but it's just nice to start with a big picture. Okay, now paper 4, we have writing, which is 75 minutes. Yeah, I will go into, oh, wait, I think, hold on. Oops. Oh, sorry. I think I've shared the wrong slides. Yeah, please bear with me. Sorry, yeah.
Nityavani?
Okay, do you see, Puan Zaida, my slides?
Yes,
Okay,
I
I'm
just
so
want to
sorry.
inform you that the students can't see your face.
Oh, all
It's
right.
like
Okay.
it's
All right.
the
All
camera's
right.
on.
Oh, I
Okay.
think I've
Right.
accidentally, yeah, stopped the camera. Okay. I'm so sorry, yeah, for the mix up.
No problem.
Okay. So we are
No
looking
problem.
at white paper, right? Code 800, and we have gone through this. Okay. Why would this interfere? I think this is our slides from yesterday. I think there's some interference. Why would this happen? There is a mix up here. There's something wrong, Madam Zaida. These are the slides which I shared with you yesterday when we were doing the test run.
Ma- Madam Nityavani, would you try to take out the slide and then put it aside and not handle the slide with you? Is that possible?
What do you mean?
And then upload the new one again.
Yeah, but I uploaded the new one. Why would this happen? I'm not
Oh,
so sure.
oh. Hang on for a few minutes. We'll
Okay,
contact.
yeah, okay, we'll just give it another try.
Yeah.
All right, Madam Zaida? Okay, I'm so
Yes.
sorry. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay,
No
right.
worries, no worries at all. Okay.
All right.
Begin
Okay, right.
again.
Technology. Right. Okay, so we are looking at paper 3 first. Yeah, reading, which takes up about 75 minutes. Yeah, right. So reading, okay, consists of 40 questions. All right, and they are divided into 7 parts. Right. So the weighting, yeah, the weightage is 25% of your whole MUET paper. All right, just so you know, all the 4 skills, they have equal weightage. Yeah, so regardless of whether it's reading, writing, or listening, speaking, they are all, they take up 25%. And the maximum score for each skill is 90. Yeah. Okay, for reading, there are 10 texts, right, which are divided into 7 parts. Okay, and the genres, yeah, the genres for reading, okay, they make up of short, simple texts, yeah, advertisements, announcements, notices, short office documents, signs, labels, directories, prospectus, menus, timetables. Yeah, there are, it's a widespread. And then we also have straightforward factual text. Yeah, short stories, light magazine, newspaper articles. When I say light, it's not so heavy, right? In the sense that perhaps they are shorter, right, on a lighter note. And then we have blogs, biographies, emails, informal letters, formal letters. Perhaps it could be a letter to the editor, or letter of complaint, or job application, right? Okay, and then we have long, complex text. Perhaps these would appear in your parts 6 and 7. Yeah, so they are of, specialist magazine articles, reviews, feature articles, formal letters, research bulletins, discussions, forums, textbooks. So we can see that they are getting more serious, yeah, in parts 6 and 7. Okay, and what kind of questions do we get? Right? We have 3 option multiple matching questions that would be in part 1. Okay, and then we have 3 option multiple choice questions, which would be parts 2, 3, and 4. And part 5, yeah, a gapped text with 6 missing sentences and 7 answer options. So this is usually, yeah, part 5 is what candidates are normally very fearful of, yeah, because it can be a bit challenging, right? Okay, 4 option multiple choice questions, that would be for parts 6 and 7. Yeah, so I hope you're all right, you're following me fine. Okay, part 1. What does it consist of? 3 short texts of the same text type, okay, thematically linked. So if it's on a movie, then all the text would be on movies. Yeah, totals up to 100 to 150 words. All the 3 texts take up, yeah, it totals up to about 100 to 150 words. And then multiple matching, and you'd get 4 questions here, right? So for part 1, yeah, I'd suggest that you do not use more than 5 minutes. Okay, I'll let you know why. Yeah, as you should do it, yeah, complete it as quickly as you can. Part 2, 1 text of 300 to 450 words, MCQs, yeah, multiple choice questions with 3 options, and you get 5 questions here. This is part 2. And part 3, 1 text of 300 to 450 words. Yeah, MCQs again with 3 options and 5 questions. So if you see part 2 and part 3, they are very similar, right? Okay, part 4, 2 independent texts based on the same theme, but not necessarily of the same text type. The theme may be the same, but the text type may be different. Yeah, totals up to 700 to 800 words. Okay, 2 MCQs with 3 options based on the first text, 2 MCQs with 3 options based on the second text, and 2 MCQs with 3 options based on the, oh, I can't see, yeah. Okay, based on the, based on both, yeah, the questions. And normally these are reviews. Okay, so questions 19 and 20 are usually review questions where you have to bring your reading of the 2 texts together. Part 5, one text of 500 to 600 words, a gapped text with 6 missing sentences. 7 options are provided. Yeah, A to G, and 6 questions. Now, like I told you earlier, yeah, this is the part, yeah, where students, yeah, candidates are very fearful of, because usually out of 6 questions, my experience, yeah, students usually get about 2 to 3 correct answers if they are lucky. All right, so this part can be very challenging. Yeah, so how do you go about this part? You have to look for clues. Okay, clues in the sentences before or after, some keywords, okay, or perhaps the structure, the grammar, right, or whether you are able to pick up some lexical items, some words. Okay, so it takes a lot of time. Students, I've heard students tell me that they even take up to about 30 minutes to answer part 5 out of 75 minutes. So that is the reason why I told you, yeah, parts 1, 2, and 3, try and complete it very, very quickly in about 5 minutes. Okay, 5 minutes. Try and get your parts 1 and 2 and 3. That's all you should be using, because you need all the time for parts 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, okay, part 6, one text of 700 to 800 words. We can see that the text is getting longer. Yeah, and parts 6 and 7, it's usually made up of academic, yeah, academic type of text. Yeah, and they consist of MCQs with 4 options and 7 questions, yeah, from part 6. Okay, and part 7, we have one text of 700 to 800 words. Okay, MCQs with 4 options, 7 questions here. So part 6, you have 7 questions, and here you also have 7 questions. So they are about the same, parts 6 and 7. So I would like to repeat here, yeah. Parts 1, 2, and 3, okay, you spend very little time there. When I say very little, it does not mean they're not important, but you need all the time. Yeah, you have to keep all the extra time for your parts 5, 6, and 7. Like part 5, yeah, where you need to fill in, yeah, the gap blanks. Okay, so you need a lot of time there because it's a bit challenging. And then part 6 and 7, you need very good reading proficiency. So if we are not very proficient, then it may require us to read and reread. Okay, and Miss, how come you're not saying anything about part 4? Right, part 4 is just as any comprehension question. Okay, part 4 is, let's go back to see part 4. All right, so these are just basic comprehension texts, yeah, with the questions. And one review, you would have 2 questions. Second review, you would have 2 questions. And questions 19 and 20, you would need and you may need to read both the text to answer the questions. So there are some suggestions that you actually attempt questions 19 and 20 first, okay, because it will give you a better understanding. It gives you the summary of the 2 reviews, and then go on to answer the other questions. in part 4. Okay, and what about parts 1, 2, and 3? What about parts 1, 2, and 3? Parts 1, 2, and 3, the language is set at A2, right? Meaning we can actually read and understand the text easily. There are no difficult words. Okay, there are no difficult words, right? Perhaps the difficulty will arise when the questions, usually the questions are rephrased. Okay, the questions are rephrased. So when I say rephrased, what do I mean? What do I mean? Even part 4, yeah, the language is set at A2. So when I say it's A2, meaning there are no difficult words for you. All right. But the only difficulty which may arise would be from the questions which are rephrased. When I say rephrased, they do not use the same words from the text. Okay, they would just tweak the words a little, but again, it will not be difficult to understand. All right, you just need to understand the questions to get your answers right. One example would be perhaps in the text it says large green environment. Okay, and then the questions would refer to that phrase as maybe a botanical garden. You understand? So that's what I mean by rephrase. Otherwise, reading the text will not be a problem because the language has been set, yeah, at A2 level. Okay. Have I missed anything? Okay, I would like to go back to this slide. Okay, now listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Now, which are the receptive skills here? Which are the receptive skills here? Listening and reading are the receptive skills, and you have the productive skills, which are the speaking and writing skills. All right. So even, where is the challenge here? Usually, students are scared of, afraid of the speaking and writing skills because they need to produce a lot of language, a lot of grammar is involved, a lot of vocabulary is involved. Okay, so if you, let's say, you get about the band 3.5 for speaking and writing, you can still get at least you can get a band 4 if you obtain, at least 4.5 for listening and reading. Did you get me? Yeah, even if you do not do so well, let's say you get a 3.5 for your speaking and writing, you can still improve your overall band if you get, obtain at least, a 4.5 for listening and reading. Okay, we are looking at reading and writing today, but nevertheless, I would like to say something about listening as well, right? So you need to do a lot of practice for listening and reading, okay? Basically, this is what I tell my own students, yeah? I can only help, yeah? Your lecturers can only help for your speaking and writing. We can give you all the strategy. We can provide you the lexical, help, vocabulary, lexical is vocabulary words, yeah? The structures, okay, ideas, and so on. But listening and reading, we can only tell you this is how it's going to be, right? But the onus is on the students. You have to practice, practice, and practice. You have no choice, believe me, right? So grab a book with CD. So listening, you just do at your own time in your room, in your hostel room. Nobody needs to know how you're performing. Perhaps the first time, you complete your listening practice, perhaps it's not very, the score is not very high. But as you go along, with more and more practice, your scores will improve. In fact, in the new format, listening is rather easy to score. There are many candidates who are scoring 30 over 30. Okay, and reading as well. Perhaps the first 2 times, 3 times, it's very difficult, right? Madam, it's so difficult. My scores are, it's okay. Nobody needs to know your low scores, but keep doing. Okay, keep practicing, and then you will see that you get the hang of it. All right, but for listening and listening and writing, your lecturers, or you can help yourself by doing a lot of research. Take some topics, look for points, grab some books, okay, and you can get points, and practice speaking, practice writing. All right, but this is where we can help you with input, lots of input for speaking and writing, but not so much for listening and reading, because that, again, I repeat, the onus is on you. Okay, I'm not too comfortable because the camera keeps flicking. Yeah, it keeps flicking. I'm not so sure. So I really hope you're okay if I, stop my camera, because it keeps flicking. Yeah. Okay. But if you're not comfortable, do let me know. I'll switch it on, because I hope, it stops flicking. Right. Okay. So that's for reading parts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, now how many bands do we have in MUET? How many bands do we have in MUET? Altogether, 9. We have 9 bands, right? The highest would be 5.5, 5, 4.5, 4, 3.5, 3, 2.5, 2, and 1. Yeah, so we have 9 bands altogether, and the total marks would be 360, right? Okay, but it used to be, 300 marks in yesteryears, but no more, right? So like I told you earlier, the skills, the weightage is equal for all the skills. So you have to still put in equal effort for all the 4 skills. All right? Okay. Let's see. As for reading, like I told you, you have to do a lot of practice. Yeah, I would rather help you with more on writing, where I can actually help you. Yeah, see how to go about it. Okay, so I hope you're okay with it, that I'm skipping, I'm not doing much on reading, because I would like to concentrate on writing, because this is where I think you need the most help. Yeah, writing and speaking. Okay, are you ready for writing? I think I am, right? So let's get started. Okay, there are 2 tasks under writing. One is task 1, which is of either you would get an email or letter, and you have to write at least 100 words, and the time suggested is 25 minutes. But if you can write it within 20 minutes, then it doesn't matter. Okay, but when we say at least 100 words, so how long should your essay be for task 1? How long should your reply be to the email or letter? At most, it should be 1.5 pages, but nothing more, right? About 1.5 pages. Even 1 page is fine, so long you addressed all the notes, yeah, and the questions or the segments in the text, then you are fine. It comes with some elaboration, definitely, right? Okay. Task 2, you would either get discussive, argumentative, or problem solution. Okay, in yesteryears, before, this new format, examiners, uh, the board of examiners were very particular which register do you use, right? Whether it's discussive or argumentative. But now in the new format, you can write either way. It's accepted. Yeah. So till date, we have only received, we have been getting questions on discursive and argumentative, but we have not gotten any on problem solution. Again, this essay, you have to write about maybe 250 words. Yeah, at least. So, of course, you have to write more, and the time suggested is for you to take up about 50 minutes. Yeah. Okay, task one. This is the general guide for you. I hope I'm not going very fast. Okay, general guide, yeah, for task one. Now, task fulfillment. Able to respond to the task effectively. That means, are you answering to the questions? Okay, you know the notes at the side, normally you have 4 notes. Yeah, you have to actually address all of those notes on your right. I will show you later. Yeah, I will have a go with you on these questions, and then you're able to develop or elaborate ideas effectively. So you can know, my holiday was good. You just don't stop there. What did you do that made the holiday so good? Right? Okay, and then able to convey accurate and relevant information. So if they say, you have to respond with disagreement, then you have to disagree. It has to be relevant. Okay, if they're asking you, the question asks you about a holiday, then you talk about holiday. You don't talk about your hobby, right? And then organization, clarity of ideas or information conveyed. Ability to order ideas, that means in paragraphs. So you just follow the organization. You just follow the organization in the email or letter given. All right, you do not jump paragraphs. Okay, so you keep addressing the text and the notes according to the paragraphs given, right? And then unity of paragraphs. The paragraphs have to be united. How do we unite the paragraphs? What do we use to unite the paragraphs? We use, what do we use? We use linkers. Okay, we use sequence connectors. All right, and then lexis and structure. Lexis, basically it means vocabulary words. Yeah, lexis and structure. So we had look at accuracy of spelling, grammar, right, and variety of sentence structures. When we say variety of sentence structures, what are we talking about? What are we talking about in variety of sentence structures? There must be simple sentences. There must be compound sentences, and there must definitely be complex sentences if we want to score high marks. Yeah, there must be a variety of sentence structures which make up of simple, compound, and complex sentences. Now, perhaps this is a good time to stress that, you may have lots of complex sentences, but they come, they're controlled in the sense that, yeah, your complex sentences are controlled in the sense that you are allowed to only have or make, yeah, you're allowed to only make single word errors. Okay, you're only allowed to make single word errors to score high marks. So in a paragraph, perhaps you're allowed to have about 1, 2, or 3 single word error. And what do I mean by single word error here? Instead of saying see, you write seen, or go, you write go. So what the examiner has to do is just cut, and when we replace one word, the meaning is clear. The meaning comes through clearly. Okay, it does not distort the meaning. The meaning is not affected. So that is single word error. So you can have very good complex sentences, but they are controlled in the sense that you're allowed to make only single word errors. You cannot have, like in a sentence, a few words where even if I cut, it's difficult to replace a word. I have to restructure your sentence. Then your marks for language is going to go very low, right? It goes down to low 3. Okay, are you with me? Yeah, so in a paragraph, maybe you're allowed to make 1, 2, or 3 single word errors if you want to get, a band 5. Okay, or maybe even high band 4. Right, okay, so please allow me to continue. Okay, we'll continue with the general guide on task 1. So no explicit penalties for shorter or longer responses. So long you address all the notes given, you answer the notes and the text, then you're okay. We are not, the examiners do not count whether you have 90 words or you have 200 words. Yeah, so it doesn't matter whether it's short or long. Okay, even 150-word essay could score very high marks compared to a 300-word essay, right? For task 1, right? So long you address, you answer, you fulfill the questions, fulfill the task, then you're okay. All right, and marks will not be awarded for unnecessary words. Okay, you are saying things which are not relevant to the email or letter, or literary frills, like saying all the nice things which using colorful language, right? Or irrelevant reference, right? So basically you answer only what you respond, you respond only what's required by the text or the notes. Okay, I will take you step by step, yeah, as how to actually answer task 1. Yeah, I would be doing 2 questions with you. Okay, this is one example. Okay, I think it's distorted, the slides. Never mind. Okay, task 1. Your class teacher, Miss Mariam, is organizing a program to encourage students to have a healthy lifestyle. Read the email from her. So, it's from Miss Mariam. And then what's the subject? Stay healthy. So we know that the topic is got to do with something, related to health. Yeah. So what does Miss Mariam say? Hi, everyone. So is there a name given? Is there a hi, Siti, or hi, John? No. Right? Hi, everyone. So when you reply, okay, your name, you could put any name because a name is not given, is very general, right? Unless it says, a name, then when you reply, you have to use that particular name, right? So here it's written, hi, everyone. So it's general, right? In celebrating International Youth Day, I am happy to inform you that our school is organizing a Stay Healthy program, and it will involve all students. And what's the note you have to say? It's wonderful. Okay, and which part of this paragraph, excuse me, which part of this paragraph do we have to acknowledge or address maybe? We can see it's International Youth Day. What happens when you reply saying in celebrating Youth Day? What happens? It's not right. It's not correct. You get it incorrect because it is supposed to be International Youth Day. So we would put a mark there. Okay, and then I'm happy to inform you that our school, it's our school, not any other institute. So when you are replying, you have to use our school. Okay, don't be general and say we are organizing. Who is organizing? Our school is organizing. And what are we organizing? A Stay Healthy program. Not any other program, but a Stay Healthy program. And we will involve all students. Okay, so we have to stay as closely as possible to the text. Okay, right. The aim of the program is to encourage students to have, now I can't, how do I adjust this? Wait. Okay, right. The aim of the program is to encourage students to have a healthy lifestyle. So what's the aim? to encourage students to have a healthy lifestyle. It is important to be healthy. So in your response, you have to agree and say why it's important to be healthy. Okay. I need students to help me organize this program. I have set up many teams to help me, and you can choose to be in one of those. So you have to respond by saying, great. Great for? Why? Why? What is it for? The grade is for what? Because your teacher, Miss Mariam, has chosen you to be in one of the teams, and you can actually decide which team you would like to be in. So you have to answer that part in the text. You have to acknowledge this part. Choose to be in one of those teams. So which team would you like to be? So perhaps you can respond by saying, it would be great if I could be with a team that organizes sports activities, maybe. Okay, it is not for nothing that they say all these things. They would want you to actually respond accordingly, right? Okay, I have some activities in mind. Perhaps you can suggest a few. Means you have to suggest. And how many are you supposed to suggest? 2, right? Remember, the activities must be fun and at the same time benefit all of us. Now, students, this is very important because there are few things that you have to do here. You have to suggest at least 2 activities. Okay, don't suggest any more because they are asking for 2. So you just give 2. Don't give too many because you're just simply wasting time. So remember, the activities must be fun. So the activity that you suggest must be fun and at the same time benefit all of us. When we say all of us, who? Only the students? No, including the teachers, because it's your teacher who has sent you this email and she says all of us. That means it includes the teachers as well, teachers and students, right? If you have any questions about the program, please ask. Take care and write soon. Miss Mariam. Okay, so let's go about again. Perhaps, I would like to say this to you. Task 1 appears to be very easy. A lot of students say it's easy. Yes, it's easy, but it's not easy to score marks. Okay, it's not easy to score marks because you have to be very careful, and you cannot be like overlook certain things, right? So the moment you get task 1, you read it, understand. Don't read and then immediately start answering. Read, understand, and you must highlight the parts that you have to respond. So let's look at, okay, here. Okay, so hi everyone. So you have to acknowledge this with an opening remark. So what would your response be? Hi, Miss Mariam, because Miss Mariam has written to you and you are actually writing, right? An email to her. Okay, so there must be an opening remark which must be correctly written. And there's one closing remark, from. So that's the closing remark, CR. So both must be correct. Okay. If you get any one of OR or CR, opening remark or closing remark, wrong, then even if your language is very, very good, maximum you would be getting 16 out of 30 marks for task 1. Okay, are you with me? I repeat, the opening remark, that means to whom you're addressing the email or letter and who is written, the sender, right? The closing remark, CR, must be correct. Otherwise, even if your language is perfect, okay, you would get maximum 16 out of 30 marks. So that is very sad if you lose marks here. Okay, personally, yeah, my student, one of my very good student, the moment the paper was over, she came running to me, Miss, I got the name wrong. Right? I said it's okay, but I knew what her grades would be. Because when you get your OR or CR wrong, then maximum, I repeat, 16 out of 30 marks. If your language is so, then you would get about 13, 13 out of 30 marks. Yeah. Okay. So in celebrating International Youth Day, I'm happy to inform you that our school, I repeat, our school is organizing a Stay Healthy program, and it will involve all students. So how would you respond to this? How would you respond to this? Hi, Miss Mariam. And then? And then? What do you say? What do you say? It's wonderful. What's wonderful? Think about it. What would you like to say? Students, think about it. What would you like to say? So it's wonderful that our school is celebrating the International Youth Day. Okay, and then? What else can you say? I'm glad that all students will be involved in this Stay Healthy program. Why? Why is it important? Perhaps you want to elaborate a little bit. Why is it so important for students to have this Stay Healthy program? Because it's the exam, it's the exam season, and the students are all very stressed. So they need this Stay Healthy program to get some tips on how to de-stress. So do not write just exactly what's in the text. You respond to what's in the text, but with some elaboration. I hope you're with me, students. As you drink your coffee, you please take down notes. Okay. Now, the aim of the program is to encourage students to have a healthy lifestyle. It is important to be healthy. Okay, so you have to agree, because then you perhaps give 2 reasons. Okay, 2 reasons on why it's important to be healthy. Okay, so perhaps, you have been busy preparing for exam, right? So you would want to, some sports activities, right? Some tips on how to stay healthy or how to maintain a healthy, weight would be good for students, right? Okay, I need students to help me organize this program. I have set many teams to help me, and you can choose to be in one of those. So great, right? Great that you have organized, many teams to help out with this program. Okay, and which one would you like to be in? So you just say, Miss Mariam, if you don't mind, I would like to be in the team that organizes. It's a Stay Healthy program, right? So you talk something about that kind of thing, not karaoke, right? You would want to talk about telematch maybe, or some sports activities maybe. Okay, hiking, right? Okay, I have some activities in mind. Perhaps you can suggest a few. So remember, the activities must be fun and at the same time benefit all of us. So suggest 2. What activities could you have? What 2 activities could you have here? Activities that are fun, So what activities would lecturers and students like, which you find it to be fun? Maybe hiking, jungle trekking maybe, or Zumba session. Okay, so you suggest 2. All right, so altogether there are 4 notes and 13 items that you have to address. Yeah. Actually I highlighted only the part, yeah, where you had the 13 items, yeah, which includes the OR and CR, but I do not know why, it's not cooperating with me. I see that it's all highlighted here. It's a bit distorted. Yeah. Okay, so perhaps I should have made it in PDF form, right? So that is the reason why it's a bit distorted. All my arrows and all are in different places. So I really apologize. Yeah. Okay, this shouldn't have happened. Okay, see, it's all in on my slides, the subject and everything was in place, but here I see that it's a bit distorted. Okay, task 1. Okay, let's look at another question. Your English club teacher advisor has given you okay, again I can't see. Yeah, okay, hold on. On how you and your members can celebrate Father's Day. Okay, has given you a task. Your English club teacher advisor has given you a task on how you and your members can celebrate Father's Day. You and your friends have to present this information during the meeting. Read the following email from your friend asking you for some idea. Okay, students, this question, I personally, I myself, I had to read and reread to understand what it actually says. Yeah, so it's very important that we reread to understand what it actually requires us to do. Okay, right? So the key words here would be present this information. So you're expected to present, not talk, not deliver a speech. You have to present information during the meeting about what you have, how you have decided to celebrate Father's Day during the English club meeting. Right, so here you see you have to be very careful. From Joanne. Hi, Katie. So you are Katie and the writer is Joanne. So when you reply to this email, it should be, hi, Joanne, and from Katie. Otherwise, your OR, opening remarks, if you write, hi, Joanne, your opening remark is wrong. Okay, we would put a cross there, an X there. Okay, and from, it should be Kathy, the closing remark. If it's wrong, then like I told you, only if your language is very good, almost perfect, still maximum you would get only 16 out of 30 marks. Reason, because you have not fulfilled the requirement. Okay, something like you're off track, keluar tajuk, right? Okay, because you're supposed, that it's very important who you're writing to, because sometimes, we are so busy looking and thinking of the points, we actually make a slip here, right? So how was your holiday? Did you manage to visit your grandparents with your family? And the notes, it says no. Okay, so then something must have happened that you are not able to visit your grandparents. So you have to acknowledge this. How was your holiday? Okay, this is an item for you to respond. Did you manage to visit your grandparents with your family? So how many items are there in this question? In this paragraph? 2 items. One is you have to respond to how was your holiday, and second, you have to respond, did you manage to visit your grandparents with your family? Okay, Right. Just give it a thought first. Just give it a thought. How would you be responding to this, to these questions? If you have a paper and a pen or pencil, please, you may want to try and respond. How was your holiday? How would you respond if someone were to ask you? It could have been good. It could have been, not so good. Yeah. The no is, did you manage to visit your grandparents with your family? So the no is for that item. Yeah. I hope you're trying. Okay, just give you about a minute or two. Try writing, because I'll be showing you a model answer for this, yeah, how we could actually write. So you can compare, yeah, what you have written and what I'm sharing with you, right? Okay. If you're just listening to me, it's going to be a very boring session. So you have to be actively involved, writing, highlighting, underlining. Okay, I hope you have tried. Okay, let's move on to the next paragraph. Have you gathered information for the task given? So you must respond to this question. Have you gathered? Okay. I know that you had an idea of what to present for the English club. Can you share with me? So of course you would say, yes, definitely. So you tell Joanne, you inform Joanne what, yeah, what your idea was, okay, about celebrating Father's Day. Okay, so have you gathered information for the task given? Right, try writing, students. You must try. Otherwise, it would be a very, passive. At least you know what's happening. Yeah, try writing, try responding. Have you gathered information for the task given? And then next, address this sentence. I know that you had an idea of what to present for the English club. Can you share with me? So, how would you respond to this? Can you share with me? Yes, I will be pleased to share with you. I'll be most happy to share with you. And then you have to share, you have to, say it. So, at least, yeah, you mention two here. Yeah, okay. Next. As for me, who is saying this? Joanne is saying, yeah. As for me, I am still clueless of what to present on how to celebrate Father's Day. Can you give me some ideas, as I do not want to disappoint our teacher? Why disappoint the teacher? Because the teacher is the one who has set the task. Yeah. So you have to suggest two ideas, yeah, on how to celebrate Father's Day. Okay. Right. Honestly, I am worried. Do you think we can meet up so that I can ask you more about the presentation? And the note given is surely. Surely to what? Do you think we can meet up so that I can ask you more about the presentation? So you're saying, surely we can meet up. Okay, please, class, try writing your responses before I share with you, my responses. As for me, I am still clueless of what to present on how to celebrate Father's Day. Can you give me some ideas as I do not want to disappoint our teacher? So you have to give Joanne two ideas on how to celebrate Father's Day. The word present is very important. Yeah, and when you're responding later on. Okay, and then honestly, I'm worried. So perhaps you want to calm her down, say something nice to her, right? To respond to this sentence. And then, do you think we can meet up so that I can ask you more about the presentation? And you have to respond by saying, surely. Of course, you cannot just say, surely we can, meet up so that I can give you more about the president. Do not say exactly what's in the text. You have to add on some elaboration. Otherwise, what does it mean? It's like you're writing, you're converting the direct statements to indirect statements. Yeah, so you have to add on some elaboration to make it interesting. Okay, of course they have it says the requirement of the question, yeah, at least 100 words. But if you only write 100 words, um frankly speaking, I do not think you can score high, because within 100 words, I don't think you can address all the statements, all the segments in the text, and all the notes here. Yeah, so here we have 4 notes. Okay, so I believe you have tried writing, so let's have a look. Okay, so hi Kathy, did we get our opening remark correct? What do you say when you are replying? Here it says hi Kathy, but how would you respond? How would you respond? You would say hi Joanne. Okay, and then I would just skip this, yeah, because the highlighting is, it's a bit distorted. And then here it says from Joanne, so your response should be from Kathy, right? Okay, here to the question, the first paragraph, how was your holiday? Did you manage to visit your grandparents with your family? Now, this is the response. Yeah, the first box. My holiday was well spent with my family as we did a lot of things together. It was great. It is one of the most memorable experience for me so far. This is the response to the first question, how was your holiday? Okay? There may be a few sentences there, but they are all relevant, yeah, to the question, how was your holiday? And then, did you visit your grandfather? Now, this would be the response. Yeah. Sadly, my family and I could not visit my grandparents during the holidays. We could not make it. Why? Because my sister was down with fever. Therefore, my parents cancelled the plan just for safety precaution. In case you wonder, my sister was not COVID positive. So you may want to remove this sentence, doesn't matter. It doesn't affect it. But you would want to, make it interesting, right? Okay, because you do not want to, respond to exactly, yeah, word for word from the text. You may want to add on, yeah, some elaboration to make it interesting. Okay, so if you have written, did you write down earlier on? If you have written, compare. Okay, this is not the only way of writing, right? You can of course write differently, use different lexical items. Yeah, your structures could be different, right? Okay, and then what's the question here? Have you gathered information for the task given? I know that you had an idea of what to present for the English club. Can you share with me? So, what's the response here? I managed to gather some information, okay, on Father's Day, to present on on how we celebrated Father's Day. No worries, I will share my idea with you. Okay, remember she said, I'm worried, so no worries. I will share my ideas with you. I am in two minds as to what to present on how we celebrate Father's Day. But here is a thought to share with you. I would probably present on, remember the word present? Yeah, how you're supposed to present it, right? So I would probably present on what my family did for my father on that special day. I would show a video of our time spent at a restaurant, or else I would probably present how different families commemorate Father's Day. Okay, so these are my ideas on what to present. Okay, having shared my ideas. Okay, this one is suggesting. Yeah, remember she said, I know what to present on. Can you give me some ideas, as I do not want to disappoint our teacher? Now, this is the response for that. Having shared my ideas, I suggest you present the different cards and notes on how our members appreciate their fathers. Other idea which is simple but meaningful is that you can present about how our members can surprise their fathers with their favorite meals when they get home. Yeah, when they get home, or when he gets home, right? Yeah, when they get home, we are talking about the fathers. Yeah, so sorry. Yeah, can surprise their fathers with their favorite meals when they get home. So these are the two ideas. Yeah, you are giving Joanne. And then remember, Joanne asked you if you could meet up. Okay, so you can say no problem. Yeah, no problem, Joanne. We can meet up and I can clear any doubts you have with your presentation. Just let me know the time and place. Okay, this is how you would respond to the text and the notes. Okay, so I hope you're following. I hope you're able to write, yeah? Write down some notes, some tips. Okay, could we just take about a 3-minute break, please? Yeah, just about 3 minutes here. Thank you. Okay, would you like to write this down? Yeah, perhaps you just take it in point form. Okay, I'll share you the next slide in case you are copying down. Yeah, you would want to write down in point form. Okay, all right. Okay, right. So I hope you have written down. Yeah, so you could use this as a guide. Okay, perhaps I would like to just, um, in case you're wondering, yeah. Okay, this part here, if you have any questions about the program, please ask. Okay, right. I would expect a question here, right? Like, you may want to ask me, Miss, but there's one here. Okay, remember there are only 4 notes here. Yeah, wonderful, agree. Okay, agree, because you have to give about 2 reasons and then grade and suggest 2. But these are the 4 notes that you have to respond to. Yeah, but here this is in the text, so you may you have to ask in the sense that you would say, I would like to know when we could meet you face to face. Maybe that's the question you have. Or how soonest we could meet you to discuss the program. Or you could say that if we do have a question, we'll be happy to ask you. You understand? So you just have to acknowledge this sentence, this statement. Okay, you need not necessarily ask a question. What's important is you acknowledge it. Okay, so you acknowledge by saying, yes, thank you, yeah, Miss Mariam, we will ask you if we have any doubts. Or you can ask a question, right? How soon could we meet you to discuss this program? Okay, but because this is what I remember my students asking me as well. Okay, done. Okay, task 2, we are moving into task 2 now. Task 1, how many marks? Task 1 was 30 marks. So that is why you're given about 25 minutes, right? And 100 words, at least 100 words. So it only shows that you do not spend too much time on task 1. Okay, because the mark allocation is 30 marks. And for task 2, 60 marks. So you know where the importance is. Yeah. And how long are you advised to spend on this question? The requirement is 50 minutes. So perhaps you would want to take a little bit more if you save some time in task 1. Yeah. So task 2 criteria. Task response. Your ability to answer the question. Support and develop your ideas and present a clear position. When I say present a clear position, means your stand. I agree, I disagree, I partially agree. Okay, you have to make your stand clear. Okay, and then you have to support and develop your ideas. How do you support and develop your ideas? Through elaboration and examples. Coherence and cohesion. We always hear these two words, coherence and cohesion. What's the difference between coherence and cohesion? Yeah, I'll come to that in a while. Yeah, let's read the statement below. Your ability to logically organize your ideas within the essay and to use appropriate cohesive devices to do this. So, logically organize your ideas within the essay would be coherence. You know, coherence is what would hold your whole essay. Your idea is consistent throughout, from the beginning till the end. If you agree, it's all agree the whole way. Okay, and cohesion would be how you keep the paragraphs together, connected, one paragraph to another. How do you keep it together? And normally, what comes in handy would be cohesive devices. The use of cohesive devices will help our our paragraphs to be united. Okay, it gives unity to our paragraphs. What gives unity? Cohesive devices. So that will help us see how the second paragraph is connected to the first paragraph and how third paragraph is connected to second paragraph. Okay, so that's coherence and cohesion. Coherence is your ideas is consistent from the beginning to the end. Okay, and cohesion would be keeping all the paragraphs united. Okay, lexical resource would be referring to your use of vocabulary. Okay, vocabulary, your words, yeah. So your ability to use a range of vocabulary and your ability to use it accurately. Okay, here you may want to write down, yeah. So when we talk about lexical resource, I think this is a good time for me to share this with you. When we talk about lexical resource, we have one, low frequency words. Okay, we have low frequency words which we can use. We have everyday words. Okay, and then we have basic words, and we have thematic words or thematic vocabulary. Okay, you can just replace words with vocabulary. So what are the four? What are the four, students? What are the four lexical resources we could use? One, low frequency words. Second, everyday words. Third, basic words. And four, thematic words. Okay. What does it mean to say low frequency words? Is it good or bad to use low frequency words? We must use low frequency words if we want to score high under language. Okay, in order to score high, right, for our language, we must use low frequency words. What do low frequency words mean? These are good words, the use of these words, yeah, may require the examiner to refer to the dictionary, right? To ensure that you have spelt it correctly, right? You have used it correctly. So these are low frequency words. That means words that we do not normally use in our everyday communication. Okay, so when would we consider a word to be low frequency words? When your examiner has to refer to the dictionary to check whether you have used the words correctly. All right, uh, the examiner checks for the meaning or spelling, then it qualifies as low frequency words. What are everyday words? Everyday words are perhaps words which we are using at this stage, yeah, or maybe you, right? I would like to rephrase words which you are using at this present moment, maybe during your form 5, form 4, form 5, and now during your foundation years. So these are also good words, okay, but the examiners do not need to refer to the dictionary. They know the meaning. They are good words, but the examiners know the meaning. Okay. For instance, words like epitome, infamous, irony, synchronous, simultaneous, penchant. These are everyday words, words which we expect you to use at this level. Okay, and then what are basic words? What are basic words? What are basic words? Basic words are like, to simply say it, words which we were using perhaps in Form 1, Form 2. That means our language never grew. We never developed our language. That's basic words, very basic words, which we were using in Form 1, Form 2, and we are still using them in our writing. Okay, means bottom line, these are not very good words. Okay, you may have these words. Sometimes we can't run away from using basic words, but there must be low frequency words, everyday words, and thematic words. Okay, so now let's move on to thematic words or thematic vocabulary. What do they mean? What do they mean? What do they mean? Thematic words means words which are related to the topic, right? The must-have words when we discuss a certain topic. The jargon, or we can say the jargon. For example, can you think of an example? When we are discussing or when we are writing a topic, we are writing on a topic, there must be these must-have words. If you're talking about accidents, okay, these are the list of words that an examiner would expect to see. Okay, so can you think of an example? The simplest I could think of is when we discuss the internet. Okay, so when we are talking about internet, what are the must-have words? Words like cyberspace, social networking. Okay, so could you add on to the list? What are the must-have words for, when we discuss internet? Right, so that's what I mean by thematic vocabulary, right? So in order for you to score high marks for language, okay, you must use low frequency words and thematic words. I repeat, if you want to score high marks for language, in task 2, you must have low frequency words and thematic words. Okay, even let's say, okay, even the examiners have to check the dictionary, then how am I supposed to? Okay, fine, fine. Even if you have, simple, even if you are not able to use those words, at least use everyday words. Okay, if you can't, you're not able to use low frequency words, right? Then at least try and use everyday words. Okay, if your essay is full of basic words, then you cannot score high marks. Okay, so here I would like to say, again, I'd like to stress that, okay, never mind, I'll save it for the next slide. Okay, grammatical range and accuracy. So your ability to use a variety of sentence structures and the accuracy you have with your grammar. Okay, what do we mean by this? We are talking about sentence structures. So when we talk about sentence structures, what are we talking about? What are we talking about? The examiner would want to see simple, compound, and complex sentences. Okay, so what's a simple sentence? Now, I'm not going to go into the details because otherwise this becomes, a grammar lesson. But just since we are talking about it, I'll just, just mention and move on. Yeah, a simple sentence has only one clause, right? And a compound sentence. How do we form? How do we form compound sentences? We join two simple sentences. Okay, how do we join two simple sentences? We use words like, it's an all-time favorite, fanboys. Do you remember fanboys? FANBOYS? Okay, it's an acronym for F as in for, A, and, N, nor, N-O-R, B for but, O for R, Y for yet, and S for so. So please, if you are, if you are not familiar, most of you would be familiar, but if you are not familiar, please write it down. Fanboys. Fanboys come in handy when you want to form compound sentences. Yeah, F for, A for and, N for no, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, S for so. Okay, and what about complex sentence? What's a complex sentence? It joins clauses together using words like, when we make, when we construct a compound sentence, we use for, and, nor, but, or, yet, so. But for complex sentences, we need words like after. What else, class? If I say after, then you definitely have before. And then when I say who, then you should have, okay, if after, then you have before. If I say who, then what other words would follow? Who, where, when. Okay, then we have because, then we have although. If you have although, then you would have, of course, though, since, unless, if. Are these words, when you use these words, then your sentence becomes a complex sentence. Okay, but again, you can have a lot of complex sentences in your essay, but it is controlled. What do I mean by controlled? Your complex sentences should be used with control. From the beginning, I've been saying complex sentences which you use should be with control. That means you're allowed to make only single word errors. not multiple. Multiple word errors means in a sentence, you have to cut a few words. Yeah, you can't really replace. Single word error means you cut a word and you replace with one word and the meaning comes through clearly. The meaning is not distorted. So to get high marks for language, even with complex sentences in a paragraph, you're allowed to make one single error, two, or maybe three, and that's it. Okay, the moment you have problems in your structure, your language structure, then it's going to affect your marks. It's going to come down as low as 3. Okay, and especially if your writing requires the examiner to reread, right? She reads the sentence, she can't understand, and she rereads. The moment your writing requires the examiner to reread, then your marks is going to be very low. It can go down to a low 3, or even 2.5. Right? So we hope that other criteria could help pull up your marks, right? Okay. Okay, now we are slowly going into writing this 60-mark essay. Yeah, it's important because it carries 60 marks. Okay, response to question. Answer all segment or parts given. Of course, it appears that, task 2, there's only one question, but within the question, there are segments and parts, yeah, which we have to acknowledge, right? Ideas and arguments are valid and precise, and we have adequate elaboration. And how do we know that we have elaborated well? How do we know, class, that I've done a good job with my elaboration? When you elaborate, you must have answered the why and the how. Please write it down. In your elaboration, you must have the why and the how. If you have the why and the how, then you can give yourself a pat on your shoulder. That means you have done a good job elaborating the topic sentence. Are you with me, students? Yeah? Okay? If you're feeling, like a sleepy or so, just stand up, right? In front of your laptop and just, stretch a little. Okay? All right. I'll show you how we do that. Yeah? Okay. Now, this is a question for you. Now, class, I would expect you to do some writing, yeah, not just listening. If you're listening, then you're not totally with me. Yeah, your mind would go, or you would look through the laptop. Yeah, there's a lot of controversy about the generation gap between parents and children. Give your opinion. There is a lot of controversy about the generation gap between parents and children. Give your opinion. Just ponder upon this question. Take a little time. What does the question really require you to do? Okay, first thing first, what do you do? When you get the question, of course, you read. Okay, you read the question. What's next? What's next? After reading, what's next? I read, I write. No, once you read, you analyze the question first. Analyze the question. Be very comfortable. You have to be very comfortable with the question. You must be very sure that you understand what the question requires you to do. Okay, so there is a lot of controversy. Controversy related to the generation gap. Now, what do we mean by generation gap? The differences between the old and young, right? So, but here we are not talking about, or we are not talking in general, yeah, generation gap between the old and young. We are talking about particularly parents and children. We are talking about the generation between parents and children. Do not, in the first paragraph, you talk about parents and children, and the second paragraph, you talk about grandparents. Okay? That means your marks would be affected, right? So the topic and the controlling idea here would be generation between parents and generation gap between parents and children. Give your opinion would be instruction words. Okay, the instruction words. Give your opinion. Sometimes the instruction words would be, do you agree? Okay, so there is a lot of controversy about the generation gap between parents and children. Give your opinion. Now, class, how many word essay is this? How many word essay is this? At least 250 words. Okay, at least 250 words, and it carries 60 marks. So how many points are you expected to have to attempt this question? Ideally, we suggest, that you have 3 points. Okay, that means you have an introduction, you have 3 body paragraphs, and 1 conclusion. Okay, but if during your brainstorming session you are not able to have 3 points, we can still settle with 2 points, provided they are well elaborated. Okay, that means your elaboration must be longer than expected, and you must have more examples. Okay, right? Are you comprehending? Okay, so what happens if you read and start writing immediately? That means you're not going to have a good thesis statement. And when you don't have a good thesis statement, you would not have good body paragraphs. Why? How are body paragraphs connected to your thesis statement? Because the 3 points in your thesis statement are what you will develop to be the body paragraphs. Okay, so for your first point in your thesis statement would be body paragraph 1, your second point, body paragraph 2, and your third point would be body paragraph 3. And then you have a conclusion, the concluding paragraph. Okay, so when you get this question, what do you do first? You read, you analyze, okay, and then you brainstorm. That means this is what I call the groundwork. Before you even start writing, you do some groundwork. And how long are you supposed to, how many minutes to allocate for your groundwork? At least 10 minutes or so. Wow, 10 minutes out of 50 minutes? Yes, you will not go wrong. Because in this 10 minutes, okay, you have clarified, you know exactly what the question requires you to do, okay, and then you would brainstorm for your 2 or 3 points. And you would not only be writing the 2 or 3 points, you just list down the 3. Assuming you have 3 points, you list down the 3 points, Okay. Once you list down the 3 points, next to the first point, you just write keywords. What is it that you want to elaborate? And then write the examples. And then come down to the second point, keywords. Okay, what will the elaboration be? Or any vocabulary that comes to your mind, you would write it there. Okay, and then hyphen examples. Point 3, think of the elaboration. Okay, any words that come to your mind. Okay, thematic words. All right, and then write some examples. So you have 3 points all ready for you to start writing. And you look at it, of the 3 points, which are you most comfortable with? You have so much to say. Now you number that 1. And the second most important point, put it as number 2. And your third point would be 3. Why? So the first point, you would be stating it first in your thesis statement. And the second point as the second point in your thesis statement, and the third one. Okay, that means you would be writing your best point first. Are you able to follow, class? I hope you're following. Okay, and I hope I'm not too fast. Yeah, so once all this is ready, your groundwork is ready, then you are ready to start writing. If you read, you analyze and start writing, what's going to happen is at every point, at every sentence, you're going to stop to think, what's next? What's next? And a lot of time is going to be wasted. So you might as well take a solid 10 minutes, do the groundwork, and you're very ready to start writing. Okay? All right. Now, what is a thesis statement? What is a thesis statement? Why is it so important? Why is it so important? When an examiner takes your script to mark, the first thing she would see is whether you have a thesis statement. If you don't have a thesis statement, it's as good as not having an essay at all. All right, so it's that important. Okay, because your thesis statement is going to frame your whole essay. By reading the thesis statement, I know whether you agree or disagree with the statement, and I know I know all your 3 points, what your 3 points are on. Okay? Right? I'm confident that you are familiar with what thesis statement and topic sentences are. That means your first point from your thesis statement, you develop it into your topic sentence 1 in your body paragraph 1. And then your body paragraph 2, where does the topic sentence come from? Body paragraph 2, where does your topic sentence come from? From your second point in your thesis statement. Students, I know you are not able to answer me. Yeah, I can't hear even when you answer. Yeah, but as I pose questions, try to put on your thinking cap. Okay, you try, you answer it yourself. So at least you know whether you're on the right track, and at least you can gauge how much you know. Okay, and another question for you, and where does the topic sentence come from? Body paragraph 3. Body paragraph 3, where would your topic sentence come from? That would come from the third point of your thesis statement. Are you with me? Okay, then in each paragraph, once you have the topic sentence, your whole paragraph must be written in support of the topic sentence. I will show you example later. Yeah, I'm just trying to, refresh your memory. Okay, I'm sure, your lecturers would have taught you this, but, by talking about it, taking you down, that once upon a time, my lecturer said this. Okay, going down, yeah, the memory lane. Okay, but later on, of course, I'll be showing you some examples. Okay, So each topic sentence, when you have a topic sentence, your whole paragraph must support your topic sentence. Okay, and then of course, like I told you, how do you support the topic sentence? By explaining, okay, by addressing the why, and then the how, and then you give examples, and then you conclude the sentence with a concluding sentence. Okay, you would have a concluding sentence as your last sentence of your paragraph, your body paragraph. Okay, so there is a lot of controversy about the generation gap between parents and children. Give your opinion. Do you agree? Do you agree, class? Do you agree? I think we have to agree, right? Because somehow we are different from our parents in terms of Julita, thank you very much. I see. I agree. Yes. Okay, so at least I can see some responses. Now I'm sitting up straight. Yeah, earlier on I was slouching. Right now, when I read responses, it's nice. Okay, right. Custo, CUSTO, Custo says yes. Julita said I agree. Yes. So how? Generation gap from where? In terms of the clothes we wear, the language we speak. What else? Our attitude, perhaps. Okay, since now I can read the responses, perhaps you could, type a word or two. It would be nice. Okay, at least I know there are others with me. Otherwise, it's very quiet here. Okay, what else? So, like I told you, remember earlier on, let's say answer all segments. So, we have to, the word controversy must appear in your essay. And the word, the phrase generation gap must, mindset. Okay, Julita, thank you. Okay, mindset, right? Okay, generation gap between parents and children. So we must see the words parents and children, generation gap. Do not say it once in the introduction, then after that, you just write it in isolation. Okay, you have to keep picking words from the topic and include it in your essay so that you are closely knitted to the question. Otherwise, your answer would be very distant from the question. At least once in every paragraph, you mention the word controversy, generation gap, and then the words, maybe the phrase parents and children. So you are very close to the question. Your answer is very close to the question. Some candidates, they just mention it once in the introduction, then after that they keep writing, but then it sounds very, when I read the text, it sounds very distant from the topic, from the question. Yeah, okay, right. A lot of controversy. So again, what's the controversy? About the generation gap, right? Okay, and your stand, agree, disagree? Okay, we had two of our participants who said agree, and I also agree, right? So next question, let's look at next question. The internet is to be blamed for the lack of creativity and critical thinking in today's youth. Do you agree with the statement? So what are the instruction words here? Do you agree with the statement? Do you agree with the statement is the instruction words. The topic, Topic, internet. Okay, so the controlling idea is to be blamed for the lack of creativity and thinking, right? Critical thinking in today's youth. Not students. We are not talking about students. We are not talking about pupils. We are not talking about adults. We are specifically talking about youth. So at least once in every paragraph, mention the word youth. So we know that you are fulfilling the requirement of the question. Okay, we need the words, internet. We need to see the words or the phrase for the lack of creativity, lack of critical thinking. We need to see this so that your answer is close to the question. Okay, so please class, students, read and digest the question. Take about a minute or so. Think about how you would approach this question. Okay, so you have read. Now next you analyze, right? What does the question require you to do? Okay, then you brainstorm 3 points, right? You brainstorm 3 points. So you list the 3 points, come up with the elaboration, just keep keywords, examples. Point 2, elaboration, keywords, yeah, example. Point 3, elaboration, examples. So once they are ready, okay, these 3 parts are ready, then you know you're ready to write. Okay, so using these 3 points, you would come up with a thesis statement. Okay, what if you have a very good point, but you can't think of the elaboration, you can't think of the examples? Put it aside first, put it as the third point. You write your best point and then your second. If let's say till the once you have written your second point, you still can't think of elaboration and example, then you cannot pursue that point anymore, because you're going to have difficulty developing that paragraph with that point, because even at brainstorming you're not able to come up with, with ideas on how to elaborate the whys and the hows. Okay, what more the example, right? So that is why the brainstorming point is very important. If 4 points come to your mind, list all the 4. Perhaps the third point is incomplete. You don't have the elaboration, you don't have the example, then you brainstorm for the fourth point. If your fourth point is complete, then that would be your point 3. So points 1, 2 and 3, you cancel the third point which you were not able to develop ideas. Okay, now when we say blamed for the lack of creativity and critical thinking, again stay as closely as possible to these points. Do not divert and then go and talk about it blamed for the lack of leadership skills. Do not bring in another point. Okay, do not introduce a new point. Stay very closely to lack of creativity and critical thinking. And a reminder here, do you agree with the statement? You can agree, I agree, I disagree. And if you take a partial stand, do you agree? So you say, I partially agree. Do not say, I partially disagree. You're going to confuse you would be confused and you would confuse the examiner. Because when you say I partially disagree, then you may have to restructure the question, right? So it's safe to say I agree, I disagree, or I partially agree. That means if you say partially agree, 1 point to agree, 2 points to disagree, or 2 points you agree and 1 point you disagree. Okay? Now, can we have you written down any points? How can we blame the internet for our lack of creativity? And second point, how can we blame the internet for the lack of our critical thinking? Very quickly, could you write down some, brainstorm the points. Okay, Julita, thank you. Internet is a source of answer for your youth. Sorry, for youth, yeah? Okay, just let me respond to this comment. Okay, internet is a source of answer for youth, okay? So lack of creativity. So Junita, perhaps I would talk on your behalf. So maybe we are talking about, when you say it's a source of answer, right? That means um, youth today perhaps do not have to think much. Whatever they want, okay? Whatever they want, they have a problem, okay? They do not really have to sit and think. They don't have to put on their thinking cap. They just have to go to the internet and everything is there, okay? So much so that they do not spend time, yeah, thinking what more be critical, okay? Because everything is provided by the internet. Even if you have a problem, it solves it for you. It gives you solutions, okay? Yes, Muhammad Hafizuddin, yeah, they rely on internet only. They rely on internet. Okay, how can we blame internet for the lack of creativity? For instance, you have to create a card for Mother's Day, Father's Day, or Teacher's Day, right? I mean, I don't like to say this phrase, but those days, those days, students can roll your eyes. Yeah, those days, when we did not have the internet, we would start from scratch, right? We'd cut the papers, we'd source for colored paper, we would think of what to do, right? Should I paste this? Should I paste that? Do I color it red? Do I color it black? But today, when you want to create a card, you go into the net and they provide you with templates, and they even give you the wordings, beautiful wordings. Okay, Ao says lots of information are spoon fed to youth, so they don't need to think much. Yes, very, very correct. Yeah, they don't have to think much because everything is there on the net. Creativity and ideas can be depicted from the internet. Yeah, so that's where, thank you, Julita. Okay, so lack of creativity. So even to make a card, you can get the template from the internet. So where's your creativity? Where is your own creativity? Okay, in fact, the words are given, so you don't even have to sit and string your sentences. Okay, so definitely we have to agree. But if you disagree, I do not know what your points would be. Okay, so sometimes what I'm trying to say is, sometimes it is easier to agree than disagree. Okay, you may not, on a personal note, you may disagree, but when you sit to brainstorm, it's sometimes it can be very challenging to come up with the points. So as such, sometimes it's easier to agree than disagree. Certain topics, clear cut, you have to agree. If you disagree, you're going to have problems, brainstorming. So why the trouble? Okay, right. Next question. Okay, competition is healthy. Do you agree with the statement? Competition is healthy. Do you agree with the statement? Perhaps here you may want to disagree. Perhaps you could get points to disagree. But I would say it as my take is on agree, right? I agree that competition is healthy. Now, what kind of competition? Is it stated? Is it stated? It can be any competition. It can be sports. It can be singing, dancing. Yes, Ridwan, says yes. Okay, so competition is healthy. So it's not specified what kind of competition. So we can take it as, Muhammad Hafizuddin says, I disagree. Okay, I agree to your disagreement so long you have your points. Yeah. So it depends. It depends, Julita. Yeah. Good. If you disagree, so long you have your points. Yeah. But I would say agree because it's easier for me to brainstorm the points. Of course, I do acknowledge that Aisha Nafisa says, I disagree too, madam. Yeah. Yes, Aisha, I too, it's partial. Mine is a partial stand, but for the sake of my essay, Shaza Najwa says yes as well. Okay, for the sake of writing an essay and to complete it successfully, I think it's easier to say agreeing. Or you can take a partial stand. Yeah, I partially agree. Please, I know the same reminder, do not say I partially disagree. Those of you who disagree or take a partial stand, do not say I partially disagree. It should be I partially agree. Okay, so if you say disagree, fine. So long you have your points. And if you say it's healthy, you should also have your points. No one is to judge you, right? Okay, would you like to, very quickly brainstorm the points? Just very quickly brainstorm. I know you would not be able to share with me, but at least you're putting on your thinking cap, right? Do not check in the net, okay? It's time for some creativity, for some, critical thinking. Yeah, so let's put the internet aside. You brainstorm your own points. Those of you who say agree, why? Perhaps you would like to type, type out your feedback, your responses just in point form. Okay? We can improve ourselves to be better. Yeah, Atif Idris says we can improve ourselves to be better. Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, but maybe you would want to be a bit more specific. Yeah, Atif, thank you very much for your response. Okay. So why do you agree? Because why? Julita Najiha says unhealthy competition makes us feel like winning is the only source of satisfaction. Yeah, very true, Julita. right? Okay, I have to agree with you on that. Okay. Um, as for my perspective on this essay, I would take it as I agree that competition is healthy. Yeah, only because it's easier to write, I feel. So, why? Why do I agree? Because competition encourages. What does it encourage? When you want to be, when you're in a competition, maybe it's a team, right? It's a team sport, right? So it encourages thorough planning. You acquire the skill, right, to plan thoroughly. And then it helps us, yeah, it helps us maintain attentiveness. When you are in a sport, when it's a competition, we are very attentive. What else? And we can also develop, what other important skills can we develop? Perseverance, yeah, and competition, perhaps leadership qualities. Okay, so when you go back to work or at college, right, or in school, if you're a sports person, yeah, who participates in sports, what does it, how does it help you? How does it help you? It helps you make decisions, yeah. It make, it helps you in working with your team members better. Okay, healthy competition encourages us to be better. Yes. Okay, but perhaps we could be a bit more specific. How better means, in what way, right? So as I said earlier, encourages thorough planning. Good. Ridwan says not giving up easily. Okay. All right. So it helps us develop, yeah, also, I know a strong personalities maybe. Yeah, helps us maintain, what did I say, attentiveness, and then skills like, it helps us, strong determination makes one a good sport. Yeah, Aisha Nafisa. Awo says competitors will give their best performance during competition so they are more productive. Yeah, okay, good. All right. I'm very happy. Many of you are responding now. Yeah. So I feel like I have, I'm not alone here, right? I have company. Okay. Thank you. Thank you very, very much. Okay. Let's look at another question. Youngsters. Youngsters, not in general, people or adults, yeah. Youngsters should pursue courses based on job opportunities. Do you agree with the statement? Now here I would want to read your responses. Do you agree or do you disagree, or you partially agree? I partially agree. Okay, Julita. Aisha says I partially agree. Ainur says I partially agree. Muhammad Hafizuddin says I agree. Aul says I agree. Okay, I think this is a time, a good time to take a short break. Yeah, we need to stretch ourselves. Yeah, so we'll wait for the moderator, Puan Zaida. We'll continue here, yeah, later.
Yeah, for about 10 minutes before we go on to the next session. And hang on for a few minutes. Yeah, I there will be this is a reminder for all students. The QR code for the attendance will be given at the end of the second session. Yeah, please remember to scan the QR code for the attendance, which will be included in your co-curriculum marks. All right, so we will give you 10 minutes break for now. Everybody needs a relaxation a little bit. Okay, we'll see you. We'll be back in 10 minutes. Thank you.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahirabbil alamin. Wassalatu wassalamu ala asyrafil anbiya'i wal mursalin wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, sir, and a very good morning, everyone. Welcome back to our more preparatory online webinar series, How to Score in Your Reading and Writing Test. Now, we move on to our second session, and we will continue here with writing. Welcome back, Puan Nitya Gani.
All right, thank you, Madam Moderator. Yeah, I would like to, continue with writing because there's a lot more and some very good tips I would like to share with you. Yeah. Okay. Right. So youngsters should pursue courses based on job opportunities. Do you agree with the statement? So now here the topic would be youngsters. Yeah. The controlling idea would be should pursue courses based on job opportunities. But what some candidates, yeah, it's a very common error here. What they do is they would actually come up, they create a new question. What they would say is youngsters, when they disagree, they come up with a new question. For example, youngsters should pursue courses based on their interests. Because they disagree that it should be based on job opportunities, they conveniently change it to interest. All right, so that is definitely a big no. Your marks will be severely affected because you are coming up with your own question. Okay, so if you agree, then why they should pursue courses based on job opportunities? If you disagree, then why shouldn't it be based on job opportunities? Okay, not that you come up with based on interest. Okay, so for one example would be, if I agree, then I would say so that they have a job available, right? Because based on job opportunities. So if these, certain particular jobs are available, then they take up those courses. So why? Why do I agree? So that they have a job available, right, upon graduation. Or if I disagree, then perhaps I would say, youngsters should pursue courses based on job opportunities. I still agree. I can't think of how to disagree, right? My another point to agree would be so that they can put into practice what they have learned during their undergraduate studies while pursuing their courses. So they can put into practice what they have learned in their jobs, right? As compared to, taking up courses. Why shouldn't it be on job opportunities? Can any one of you think of points to disagree? See, remember I told you earlier, certain topics it's easier to agree than disagree. If you pursue a course, wouldn't you want a job opportunity? Wouldn't you want to work once you pursue courses? Yeah, so it's easier to agree here than disagree. And I hope you agree with me, right, students? Okay, let's move on to another question. Let's look at another question. Okay, this is a different kind of question. Some people think that it is important to use one's leisure for self-improvement activities. Others believe that one should rest the mind during leisure time. If you notice, there are no instruction words here. There are two statements, two sides. Some people think it's important, right? When you have leisure, you spend it yeah, to improve, yeah, on self improvement activities. Whereas there's another, a group of people, right? What do they think? That when you have leisure time, please rest your mind. Okay, how would you approach this question? Okay, please class, listen. You have to take or write, you have to address both statements. You cannot take sides here. You have to acknowledge both statements here. Basically, this is a question to discuss, but of course, they left it, hanging. There's no word, so it's understood. All right, so there are two statements there, so you have to write both. So first you would write that it's important that one's leisure for should be spent, yeah, for self improvement activities. And then upon writing that, you write another paragraph on one should rest the mind during leisure time. So you have to have a point for that and a point for why it's important to rest the mind. So could we take about, I'm giving you 2 minutes. Yeah, I would like to give you 2 minutes, just 2 minutes. Quickly scribble down, yeah, on your piece of paper, right? Why do you think it's important to use your leisure time on self-improvement activities? And another point on why it's important to rest the mind. Okay, right? So in attempting this question, you must remember that there are a few key points which you should repeat in your essay. It should be seen, yeah, in your essay a few times. That means phrases like it is important, and then use one's leisure or leisure time, and then self improvement activities. Okay, it must be stated in your paragraphs. And then others believe that one should rest the mind. So of course the phrase rest the mind and then during leisure time must appear in your writing more than once, maybe, so that you are closely linked to the question. Otherwise it will look like your answer is very distant, very isolated. Okay, so if you think it's important to use one's leisure for self improvement activities, now what could be a point to support? Why is it important to spend your leisure time on self improvement activities? You must have your whys and your hows, right, in your elaboration. So first, okay, read one. Self-improvement activities can maintain our well-being. Okay, all right. So this is why you have answered to the question why, and now next would be how. All right, but never mind, read one. This is good. Yeah. So you have kind of answered the why, and then in your elaboration, how could it be? How do we do that? Yeah, to maintain our well-being. Okay, so what are some activities? What comes to your mind when you talk about self-improvement activities? What comes to your mind? Okay, let's read Julita's response. I think it is important to use one's leisure for self-improvement because it can alleviate the stress of people. Very good. Very good. You have already, you have given why, and then you have given how, right? As through, how can we distress? So through meditation. Okay, good. What comes to your mind? What kind of activities come to your mind when we talk about self-improvement activities? To me, team building activities come to mind. Okay, because during leisure time, only when I have leisure time during weekends, I could participate in team building activities, because team building activities is not something that they organize every now and then. It's normally during reserved for holidays and weekends. Okay, and Alicia Farhana says self improvement activities will hone your skills. Okay, right. Perhaps you could be a bit more specific. What kind of skills? Yeah, because hone your skills are rather general. Okay, right. Nevertheless, good try, Alicia. Okay, so like I told you, team building activities come to my mind. So how does this, why is it important? Why is it important to engage in team building activities? During team building, we learn to cooperate with others. We learn to trust, because some of the games you have to totally trust your team members, like walking in the dark, right? Your leader guides you, and then you just have to do whatever he says. Or sometimes team building activity where you fall off the chair, and then your team members are supposed to catch you. This is basically on trust, right? So team building, yeah, it helps us learn to trust, and then we learn patience. Yeah, so these are very important in our day-to-day life. Okay, in day-to-day life, we must be able to work with others, right? We must trust other people. We must have patience. Okay, read one says improve social skills. Yes, during team building, okay, you socialize a lot. Yeah, so you improve your social skills. And then what about the others who believe that they should rest their mind during leisure time? Why is it very important to rest your mind? Why is it important to rest your mind? After putting our mind to work throughout the week, yeah, during the weekdays, right? Our minds are at they are at work at optimum at an optimal level, right? So when we get a leisure time, we should allow our minds to rest. Yeah, every now and then, even our minds need to rest, right? So that we can distress ourselves. Can you imagine us working around the clock 24/7? Yeah, so that's a warning sign. Yeah, so we must always rest our minds. All right, it helps us distress, and then it helps us what can we say, it helps our minds to work at an okay, let's use the word optimal again, optimal level. And then it can boost our performance. Okay, because after having a rested mind, you are like you are at your top form, right? So it helps boost your performance. It helps boost your moods. Okay, Julita, it is important to rest mind during leisure time because our mind is restless. Good. Restless throughout the week because we are so busy, right? So that is why it needs rest. Very good, Julita. Right, weekdays, yeah, in college, at work, right? With our studies, we are always very busy, so we need to give our mind some rest. Okay, So why? When we have, a rested mind, yeah, improves our moods. Imagine working 24/7 and then at one point you become very easily irritated, yeah. Okay, Atif Idris says it's crucial to rest our mind so that our mind can be prepared to work more effectively. Yes, yes, yeah, Atif, totally agree with you. All right, so a rested mind, yeah, helps us concentrate better. Okay, so give some examples. Give some examples. How can we rest? Rest our minds means not just sitting and sleeping, looking, staring into the, into the air. No, it's not like that. Okay, Ridwan says to make our day more productive. Yes, Ridwan. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so it could be like listening to music. Cloudy asked me, so madam, in this essay there will be only 2 points. Yeah, ideally, because when you say something, you would want. Otherwise, there would be what do you say? One statement takes more importance. You see, so you can't put it as 2-1. It should be 1-1. Okay, or 2-2. So it's easier to write 1-1. So you elaborate it. Okay, Cloudy? Yeah, because we do not want to show that one statement is more important than the other. So we give them equal importance. So 1 point for self-improvement activities, another one for resting our minds. Okay, if you want to, then it has to be 2-2. Okay, good. Julita, meditation can help the mind, our mind to rest. Yes, through meditation. Now, these will come under example. Ridwan, playing online games. Yes, I agree. Because my son does that all the time. And when I, reprimand him, he says, I'm de-stressing, mom. Right? Okay. No, Shaza says we can rest our mind by doing the thing we like. Yes, very good. Okay. One way of how do I distress? I love attending to my plants. Yeah. So we can listen to music. We can take a stroll. Yeah. Along the beach if we have access to the beach, and then we can watch our favorite movies. Yeah, favorite shows. Okay, so we have our whys and how and our examples. Okay, entertainment also increases our mood level. Yes. Okay, but it depends what kind of entertainment. If it's heavy entertainment, then I do not know whether your mind is at rest. Yeah, Julita, but okay, it is acceptable. Yeah, entertainment, right? You don't strain your mind too much. Okay. Now, wait, is this, okay, this is where we are going. Okay, class, please be with me. Please be very, very alert. This is what I was really waiting to share with you. Yeah, even with my students, they really appreciated when I shared this template with them. It really helps and it makes you feel like it's manageable. Okay, it gives you that confidence that task 2 is manageable. Yeah, the 60 marks is manageable. Okay, so what's the question here? You attended a talk by a famous social media expert which was recently organized during the open day at your college. The following comment was made by the speaker. So this context here, you don't have to say anything about this context. You do not start your essay by I attended a talk by a famous. No. What you are supposed to attempt is this. Acknowledge or respond to this statement. Social networking can ruin your life. Agree? Disagree? Partially agree? Write an essay expressing your opinion on the statement. So you can express your opinion. So you either agree with the statement, disagree, or partially agree. Do not write partially disagree. Like I said it earlier, it can get confusing. Yes, Muhammad Hafizuddin says agree. Okay, social networking. Okay, I don't know how do I pronounce this? Memister. partially agree. Aisha Nafisa says, partially agree. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. Okay, Julita says, I agree. But for the sake of the essay, I would agree. But actually, I can even take a partial stand. Yeah, because social networking, sometimes you need that. Okay, to de-stress, to get connected. Okay, all right. Class, like I said, I really wish to share this with you, so please pay attention. If you Miss, we would like to copy. If you're copying, please state it there so I would be slower in moving my slides. Yeah, if you're copying, please write there. Please slow down, Miss, so I will slow down. Because I'm not sure. Oh, yeah, y'all are fast. You don't copy anymore. You take snapshots, right? Sorry, I'm an old timer. Okay, introduction. Social networking. Now, this is just a suggested answer, yeah? I just want to show you how manageable task 2 is. Look at the question again. Social networking can ruin your life. So, social networking first existed as an invention created in 1975 known as email, which is still used today. This, I'm giving some background information. It can be a hook. Yeah, we can call this a hook. But of course, not all topics I know offhand. Certain things I know, sometimes I do not know. So write what you know, some background information about the topic. So we know that the topic is about social networking. So I call this the hook. Okay. Now social networking involves sharing stories, photos, and involves the use of apps as well as messaging to communicate with others. Now, what do I call that? What do I call that? I call that background information to the topic. Perhaps this you have to write down. Okay? So social networking first existed until email, which is still used today. I call that the hook. Okay? But sometimes we may not have the capacity to write an interesting hook. As such, you just start with background information about the topic, of the topic. Okay? And then social networking has changed the way we interact with others forever. This is still background information to the topic. I strongly believe that social networking can ruin our lives by causing us depression, exposing us to harassment, and promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. So upon brainstorming, I have come up with these 3 points. How does it ruin our lives? By causing us depression, exposing us to harassment, and promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. So how many sentences do I have there? One sentence as an opening, a hook, and then second and third sentences as the background information to the topic, and my fourth line, okay, my fourth line is my stand. Okay, my stand, which I have written together with the thesis statement. I strongly believe that social networking can ruin our lives. Some people put a full stop there and then they would continue a new sentence. This is because. It's okay, you can do that, but I have combined both. So I've combined my stand and my thesis statement together. Only 4 sentences, 73 words, enough. You see, 73 words. Let's put it as 70 words. And we have 5 paragraphs. Why do I say 5 paragraphs? Because I have 3 points here: depression, harassment, and unhealthy lifestyle. 3 points. So 3 body paragraphs, introduction, conclusion, 5 paragraphs. 5 paragraphs times 70. I already have 350 words, whereas the question only requires us to write at least 250 words. So isn't it good enough? Right? So just 4 sentences. 1 sentence hook, 2 sentences background information, and 1 sentence for my stand and thesis statement. Only 4 sentences. And my introduction is ready. Okay, if you're not able to write a hook, then you would write a general background, information, a background statement, and then followed by a more specific one, and then you write your stand and then your thesis statement. Okay, are we good to move to the next slide? Okay, body paragraph 1. Something important. See, your verbs must be parallel, right? What do I mean by parallel? I strongly believe that social networking can ruin our lives by causing, ing here, causing us depression, exposing us to harassment, and promoting, an unhealthy lifestyle. So my thesis statement, all the verbs are parallel. By causing, by exposing, by promoting. You cannot say, you cannot write by causing us depression and then expose us to harassment and promote an unhealthy lifestyle. That means your verbs are not parallel. It sounds correct, but your structure is incorrect. You just read, expose us to harassment, promote an unhealthy lifestyle. It sounds correct. But when you put it in your thesis statement, because here the verb is in the continuous tense, ing. As such, all the verbs must be ing. Because you must take this by causing, by exposing, by promoting. Okay, I hope you're with me. Yeah, you can see it. So now, causing us depression will be your first point. Okay, that would be your topic sentence in body paragraph 1. Exposing us to harassment would be your topic sentence 2 in your body paragraph 2. And this unhealthy lifestyle would be your topic sentence in body paragraph 3. Okay, so depression, topic sentence in your body paragraph 1. Exposing us to harassment, topic sentence in body paragraph 2. And an unhealthy lifestyle, topic sentence in body paragraph 3. Okay, so let's look at how we have, developed the point on causing us depression. Okay, so this is what I meant. Body paragraph 1. Now see, it has been developed into a topic sentence. So remember, something to do with depression. So one way the social networking can ruin our lives is by causing us depression. Is there unity or not? Is this paragraph united to the previous paragraph? Yes, because in the previous paragraph, we talked about social networking. Okay, social networking. So here, see, the word social networking, so it immediately connects to the previous paragraph. So that's what we mean by cohesion. Okay. One way the social networking can ruin our lives is by causing us depression and anxiety. Maybe you do not want to write exactly the same, you can rephrase, right? So depression and anxiety, but they are all along the same line. We usually tend to spend many hours on social media, on average about 2 to 3 hours each day. As a result, it can adversely affect our mood and health, leading up to poor physical, emotional, and mental health. A sign of poor mental health could be finding it difficult to manage how we think, feel, act, with respect. It is thus clear how social networking can result in depression and anxiety. Would you be able to label all the sentences? One way the social networking can ruin our lives is by causing us depression and anxiety. What would you label this as? Topic, sentence. And then we usually tend to spend many hours on social media, on average about 2 to 3 hours each day. Is elaboration, it explains the why. Why? And then as a result, it can adversely affect our mood and health, leading up to poor physical, emotional, and mental health. This explains the how. How does it affect? Okay, so I have the how there, and then a sign of poor mental health, blah, 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 until with respect. Yeah, here till here is the example. And then the last sentence, how would you label this sentence? It is thus clear how social networking can result in depression and anxiety. It's the concluding sentence. Okay, so the whole paragraph, this whole paragraph, if you see, it supports the topic sentence. It goes to explain about how, right, we get depression and anxiety. How social networking results in depression and anxiety. Okay, how many sentences are there? Only 5 sentences. 1 topic sentence, 2 sentences to elaborate. They explain the why and the how. The first sentence explains why, the second sentence explains how, and then 1 sentence to provide example, and 1 sentence is concluding sentence for the paragraph. So we have only 5. 1, 2, 1, 1. 2 sentences for elaboration because, like I told you earlier, it's important to explain the why and how. When you have the why and the how, then you know you have done a good job elaborating the point. Okay? Are you with me? Yep. Okay. Body paragraph 2. Okay. Another way social networking can damage our lives is by exposing us to harassment. Let's go check the thesis statement. We are talking about exposing us to harassment, right? So shall we check? There, exposing us to harassment. That's my second point. So it's in my body paragraph 2. So another way social networking can damage our lives is by exposing us to harassments. There are many, right? There are many unscrupulous individuals who use the social networking to bully, threaten, or embarrass us, and act known as cyberbullying or internet harassment. Remember, I told you, I mentioned about thematic vocabulary. Now, this is thematic vocabulary. When you talk about social networking, words like cyberbullying, internet harassment come in, right? Okay, we are exposed to these harassments 24/7, which can sometimes be very severe. So we have the why, the how, and then we have example here. Examples of cyberbullying are sending threatening messages or spreading rumors about us on the social media. Such exposure leaves deep mental scars and can even drive us to commit suicide. So this is what is this? A concluding sentence. So how many sentences do we have here? Again, 5 sentences. 1 topic sentence, 1 elaboration to explain why, another elaboration to explain how, 1 sentence on examples, and 1 concluding sentence. Isn't it manageable? Students, you don't have to write. So when you use this, you will definitely fulfill the requirement of the question. Come up with a good topic sentence, and all the other following 4 sentences must support the topic sentence. So explain why. Explain your topic sentence. Why, how, example, concluding sentence, done. Right? Only 5 sentences in the body paragraphs. Okay, now let's look at body paragraph 3. Finally, I believe that social networking can disrupt our lives by promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. Let's go back to the thesis statement. Okay, promoting an unhealthy lifestyle. Okay, so this is our third point in our topic sentence. We are inclined to get addicted to social networking without engaging in face-to-face interaction or any physical activities. The addiction to social media can affect our overall productivity and well-being. Some of the side effects are becoming lazy. Now, these are examples already. Some of the side effects are becoming lazy, obese, and being disconnected from people around us. We can see that social media can make us inactive and our daily routine to become non-productive. You see, my concluding sentence, it supports here unhealthy lifestyle. So, see, make us inactive, and then our daily routine becomes non-productive. How these 4 sentences support the topic sentence. Okay, so try labeling. Try labeling topic sentence, the elaboration on the why and the how, example, concluding sentence. Manageable, right? Okay, right. Conclusion. On the whole, it is very clear that social networking can affect our lives negatively. So let's go back to look at the question. What does the question say? Social networking can ruin our life, right? Okay, so on the whole, it is very clear that social networking can affect our lives negatively. We can become depressed, be harassed, and end up being unhealthy as the consequences of using the social media for networking. I'm rephrasing the thesis statement here. See, my 3 points are there, but I have rephrased. One may argue that social networking has its positive side, which allows people to communicate and remain in contact with friends. That means I'm saying I do acknowledge there are good parts, there are good points. Okay, I do. That means if I do not say, you see, I would like to say this to send out the message that I am aware that there are good sides to it, but however, you see here, I've written, however, I am strongly of the opinion that the negative effects outweigh the positive aspects. See, you see, I do acknowledge there are some good sides to social networking, but the negative effects outweigh the positive aspects. So, how can we label these sentences? On the whole is a closing note, okay, and then we can become depressed, blah blah blah, is the summary of the 3 points, okay, the thesis statement, restatement of the thesis. Okay, so it requires you to reword the thesis statement, and then however, right, I am re-emphasizing my stand. Okay, again, my introduction, just like the introduction, very similar. My conclusion is very similar in structure to my introduction. I have only 4 sentences. Closing note, summary of my 3 points or restatement of thesis, my re-emphasis of my stand. Okay, 72 words. So you see, I will definitely have way more than 350 words by just writing 4 or 5 sentences in each paragraph. So students, those of you who are struggling with essays, please try this. Yeah, I hope you have written down the labeling. Okay, introduction, I repeat, introduction start with a hook if you're able to. Otherwise, just write a general background statement to the topic. If you have a hook, you would have a background information to the topic. So 1 or 2 sentences. If you had a general background statement, then you will have a specific statement here. And then you would have your stand and your thesis statement. If you are of a good proficiency, you can manage it, then you can combine your stand and your thesis statement together. Okay, like this. Yeah, I have my stand here. I strongly believe. And then I have the points here. So it makes it a thesis statement. And then body paragraph 1, you start with topic sentence. And then you have your elaboration, the why and the how. You have your example. You have your concluding sentence. So for your concluding sentence, you can start. What device can you use? What cohesive device can you use? Thus, therefore, hence, so. So it makes it, whatever you say, so. Now you're concluding. So it is clear that. It is very apparent that. Concluding. It concludes your paragraph. It ties up your paragraph. That means you have one complete sentence. You have the opening, you have the elaboration, the example, and the closing. So the paragraphs that follow suit, same thing. Topic sentence, elaboration to answer the why and the how, example, concluding sentence. If you have all these four features here, then yours is a complete paragraph, very cohesive. Okay, because it connects one paragraph to another. So you see, I'm saying, how did I start my first? One way, the social networking. Here I have continued as another way, social networking. And my third paragraph, finally. Okay, I've not used, firstly, secondly, right? Finally, that means it's understood. I'm sending a signal that this is my last point. And then I still have the word social networking here. And then I have, about unhealthy lifestyle, which I've already stated in my thesis statement. So you see how I'm showing the connection. See, again, I have social networking. So my answer is closely linked to the question. Okay, so I have cohesiveness. And do I have coherence? Yes, because from the beginning, I am standing by my stand that it causes what? It causes problems for us, right? It's very unhealthy. Okay, so throughout, I am of the same stand. So there is coherence in my essay. Okay, so when the paragraphs, the ideas are linked together, they are cohesive. Okay, and when I say coherent, that means my stand is, the same throughout. Okay, right. Okay, my second last slide. So be consistent with your use of pronoun. What do I mean by pronoun? Do you want to say you? Do you want to say I? Do you want to say they? Or do you want to say we in your essay? So you look at the essay, see whether which pronoun would be most suitable? So let's look at the question. Social networking can ruin your life. So they are addressing to us. So I am answering as you are we. I'm using it as we, but you can also use as my. Okay, but whichever pronoun you use, but I don't think you don't say they because they have said your life. So it's either my or our, right? I or we. Okay, so be consistent. The whole essay I have used we, our, ours. All right. Okay, so I have come to the end of our session today. So I would like to end the session by saying thank you, and I sincerely apologize for the mess in the beginning. Yeah. Okay. I'm still, my IT. I'm just a very, I'm a language person. So I'm still working on my IT skills. Yeah. So I really did not know about some of the, the technical parts. Yeah. And I should have made it into a PDF form. So I acknowledge my weakness and I'm sorry. And on the whole, I hope I have been of help to you. Yeah. I did not do much on reading because I somehow feel listening and reading it's on your part. Yeah, it comes with a lot of practice. I can show you question after question, but it's different altogether. Okay, working on it, yeah, practicing helps you. Whereas for speaking and writing, we can do wonders. Yeah, we can do wonders with our input. Okay, we can tell you exactly how to go about it. But listening and reading, it's the onus is on you, on your part. We cannot do anything for you. You have to work on your own. Like I told you earlier, yeah, nobody needs to know how you're struggling with your listening and reading. But trust me, okay, it gets better. It gets better. You don't have to tell anyone, oh my God, I only got 20 or I only got 10. No, it's only for you to know. Yeah, so keep practicing and you will see, yeah, how you improve. Once you get the hang of it, you would know, right? Even before reaching question 19, you already know what's question 19 and 20. It's about the summary of both the reviews. Oh, what's question 1 and 2 and 3? Okay, what's part 5? Yeah, the gapped blanks where I have to fill in the blanks. Yeah, part 6 and 7. Oh, it's going to be a tough academic text. It's very long. I may sometimes need to reread. So how do you know all this? By practicing and practicing. There's no shortcut. Yeah, but for speaking and writing, it's a lot of input that we can share with you. Yeah. Okay. So with that, I thank you. Okay. All the best to you. All the best to you.
All right, thank you so much, Madam Nityavani, for the insightful and valuable guidelines. It was indeed an enlightening session for all of us, not just for the students, but also for the lecturers. Hence, I hope that students are able to grasp the tips and whatever shared by Madam Nityavani just now. Um, and I think that's all for today. On behalf of the UITM APB Collaborative Teaching Committee, we would like to convey our heartfelt gratitude to Madam Nitya Vani for taking her time off to conduct this wonderful sharing session this morning. A reminder to our students, please remember to scan the QR code for the attendance, which will be included in your co-curricular marks. And please make sure that you do it now. The attendance will only be available for 5 minutes. That's all for today. All the best to the students out there. And it is hoped that our students and teachers and language instructors as well are better informed and prepared for the coming MUET test sessions. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great day ahead.